Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody who's joining our program this evening. We have a lot to talk about here, especially in California. I want to do a quick follow-up on what we talked about yesterday in regards to the laws of California when it comes to deploying National Guard troops in California, because Governor Newsom sued President Trump, ordered a hearing for President Trump this morning, and Governor Newsom lost. Governor Newsom lost the hearing, okay? Trump was told, or I should say the judge said, that Trump had every right, every privilege to bring the National Guard troops into Los Angeles, which means President Trump is not out of line at all. We already knew that because several weeks ago, the U.S. Supreme Court allied with President Trump, saying it was completely understandable and completely legal that President Trump would put troops in Southern California. The Trump team has already put troops in Southern California, but they're going to possibly even see more now, because now President Trump has the authority and already right and lawfully to bring troops into Southern California to stop the rioting. And I'm talking about completely stopping the rioting, but also stop the looting, stop the shooting, stop the deaths, stop everything from happening. Okay? That's going to happen. Okay? Just like it's going to happen in Chicago within the next several days. Okay? President Trump has already brought troops and ICE into Chicago, and we are in the process of cleaning up Chicago as we speak. Okay? That's going to continue to happen over the next weeks and possibly even a month or so. Okay? Now, in Chicago, it may not be as quick as it was in Washington, D.C., but it could be. It could very well be that we might be in and out of there in a couple of weeks, but it might take a little bit longer in Chicago because it's deep. The crime there is deep seated. Okay. Yes, one might say the crime in Washington, D.C. was also deep seated, but in this case, the public already knows that President Trump is doing it. Okay. The people in Chicago already trust President Trump. They no longer trust the Democrat Party. Okay? The Democrat Party's lost steam. Okay? The Democrat Party no longer has standing in California, Chicago, Portland, Seattle. The Democrat Party is over. Okay? In Oregon and Washington State, okay, the Democrat Party has seen what's happened in California. I'm pretty sure Portland and Seattle don't want Oregon and Washington State to become like California, although in some ways it already has. Okay? But I think things are going to change even in Washington and Oregon in the near future. We shall see what we shall see. Anyway, but does anybody have any questions for me about what President Trump is doing in Chicago? You've had 24 hours to think about this. I'm going to tell you this, my own opinion. If you want my opinion, I don't think Newsom has a chance at all, period. Okay? I don't think he has a chance, one. Okay? Hurricane Heather says, bring them to California. I agree. Now, I don't think we have as many troops in Southern California as we had several weeks back when there were riots in the street. There may be some riots still going on, but pretty much we've cleaned out Los Angeles. I'm not saying all of them, but we pretty much cleaned out the crime problem in downtown Los Angeles in the way of riots. Okay? Now, we are also seeing ICE still arrest people in Los Angeles, and we even had a good bust in San Diego County just this past week. A big drug bust in San Diego County. Now, I believe they took 1,400 people into custody in San Diego. That was how big it was. And I need to also say this. Some of you have been watching what's been happening in Venezuela. President Maduro has a $1.5 million bounty on his head. At some point in time, he will be arrested, possibly even by our own military. Okay? But during the night last night, President Trump ordered ordered a boat full of drugs that had 11 Tren de Aragua terrorists inside the boat, and President Trump had it stopped. It was literally blown out of the water. Okay? It was blown out of the water in the southern Caribbean off the coast of Venezuela. The boat was headed for the United States. It was full of drugs. Okay? As we've said before, it's going to come to a screeching halt. Okay? Drugs out of Mexico has also come to a screeching halt. It's not going to continue happening. We've had boats, small boats come from Mexico, dropping people off on the shoreline of La Jolla, California. Going to stop, but that hasn't already. We've had boatloads of people dropped off in the Imperial Beach in southern San Diego County. Not going to happen any longer. Okay? The days when people are kidnapped from the United States and brought into Mexico, people are kidnapped from the streets of Florida and brought into Colombia and Venezuela, it's going to come to a screeching halt. We're not going to let it happen any longer. Those days are over. Now, I want to give credit to those people who are here in our chat today. We have Hurricane Heather from Northern California, Laura Marie from Oregon. We appreciate her. She's one of my dearest friends. And Pickering is here. Thunderbird is here. Let's see who's all here. Cece is here. We appreciate her being here. Mary Endure Knox is here. Can't believe unicorn came out of my mouth. But anyway, guys, we appreciate all of you that are here. I'm going to ask those of you that are already here, whether you are here in the chat or just watching this program, please give us a thumbs up if you want. If you're watching on your television, you can do that with your remote television remote and give us a thumbs up as well. We'd appreciate that. If you also have not already subscribed to our channel, please do that, okay? Those of you that are already here that think you're subscribed, make sure you check your subscriptions and make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube unsubscribes people on a regular basis. You might think you're subscribed. You might have a little bit of problem trying to find us here on YouTube. If that's the case, especially if that's the case, go over there and make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not, please subscribe. And when you are subscribed, there's a little bell icon, just a little bell icon. Click on that little bell icon, okay? That will bring up a drop-down menu of 3 items. 3 items. When you see those 3 items come up, click on the word ALL, all. That should get you notified when we come on the program, okay? We'd appreciate that greatly, okay? Also, I want to thank those of you that continue to send us donations either on PayPal or here in the chat, super chats here. We greatly appreciate that as well. God bless you for that, okay? We need those donations to help support this channel to keep it on the air. As I said before on this channel, when I first started this channel 6.5 years ago, I thought how simple it's going to be to just go on the air. I quickly found out that it takes money to stay on the air. It's not cheap. We pay $253 a month just for bandwidth on the internet, just for bandwidth to come on and broadcast this program. So we appreciate your continued support to keep this program on the air. I know you guys have also helped keep us here and also help Carol with her plane trip back to Utah to see her family at her mother's funeral just a few weeks back. We really appreciate that as well. Anyway, guys, I love you very much. I'm going to particularly talk about earthquakes tonight. The first thing I want to do is bring up the USGS map to show you what's going on worldwide, okay? That's the biggest deal right now, okay? Let me show you that. Okay, let me take down our banner here. Let me take down our webcam here. And right here again, we are showing you what is going on here off the Kamchatka Peninsula. Okay, off the Kamchatka Peninsula, it's still a wide open earthquake idea. Why? Because, folks, as you know, we had at least an 8.8 that I said was a 9.4 earthquake. Major 8.8/9.4 earthquake. When I said it was 9.4, I showed you the documentation to show that it was at least a 9.4 major earthquake. Okay? I explained at that point in time that this was a full plate rupture. A full plate rupture between the Pacific plate and the Okhotsk plate. The Okhotsk plate. Okay? Let's go over here and look at what's happened today. Okay? This is another 5.3 earthquake. We talked about this one yesterday. This happened yesterday morning at 2:23 a.m. They should have already taken this down. Okay? That's a 5.3 earthquake from yesterday. But this quake is not. I'm sorry, this quake is as well. This is a 4.3 from yesterday as well. This earthquake is not. This earthquake is today. This earthquake happened just after 2 a.m. this morning. This is a 5.0 earthquake. A 5.0 earthquake here. Okay? That's a large earthquake. That earthquake is 22 kilometers deep. 22 kilometers deep. This earthquake is a 4.5 earthquake. This also happened at 1:02 this afternoon, Eastern Time. All times that I give you here are Eastern Time unless I say otherwise. This earthquake happened at just after 1:02 p.m. Eastern Time. This earthquake is also 37 kilometers deep, a 4.5 earthquake. We are going to continue to see earthquakes here for months and even years to come. Why? Because we had a full plate rupture earthquake. When we have anything over a 7.5 earthquake, we're going to continue to see earthquakes for a very long time. Weeks, months, and even years afterwards. That's what's going to happen here. Okay? Now let's go over to Alaska here first. We're not seeing any earthquakes here in the Aleutian Island chain except off the coast of the Alaska Peninsula. Okay? This earthquake happened early this morning, 3:47 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. This is a 4.3 earthquake. Again, it's offshore from Sandpoint, Alaska. Why is that? We had a 7.8 earthquake here just a few weeks back. Just a few weeks ago. 7.8 major earthquake. Okay? We had a small tsunami as well. Okay? Major earthquake. Again, major earthquakes can cause aftershocks for weeks, months, and even years. This is about a month old now. Okay? We're still seeing a 4.3 moderate earthquake aftershock a month later. We go up here to the north here, to the northeast. This earthquake is a 2.3 minor earthquake here, off the coast of Chignik, Alaska. Okay? Nobody felt either of these earthquakes. None of these earthquakes offshore were felt at all. Okay? Going further north here. This is the 3.5 near Old Harbor, Alaska. Okay? This earthquake happened just before 8 a.m. this morning. Literally just before 8 a.m. this morning. This is a 3.5 earthquake on the Aleutian Island Ridge here. Okay? This is a 3.2 earthquake. This earthquake is an aftershock of the other earthquake. This one happened just after 5:45 a.m. this morning. Okay? Let's go over the island here. Okay? Again, this is off the coast of Old Harbor, Alaska. 1.8 tremor here. This earthquake here is a 2.0 earthquake. Okay, a 2.0 earthquake. This is 5 miles east-southeast of Old Harbor, Alaska here. But it's not east-southeast, it's west-southwest of Old Harbor, Alaska. It's onshore. Okay, again, the USBS has flipped around the directions here. USBS here in Alaska and many other places can't get their directions right. Okay, this is a 2.0 earthquake here. Okay, Kodiak Island. Let's go over here. Okay, this is 53 miles southwest of Salmon, Alaska. A 1.8 tremor here. Okay, 1.8 tremor. Let's go north here. There's a reason I'm going north here. Okay, this is a 1.8 tremor here. A 1.8 tremor. There's a reason for it. Further north up here, this is just south of Mount Redoubt, Alaska, a volcano. A volcano. This is a 2.0 earthquake. We are continuing to see earthquakes all the way down here near San Pedro or Pedro Bay here in Alaska. This is a 1.8 tremor. This is a 1.4 near Happy Valley. This is a 0.6 microquake. 18.8 miles deep. Out here in the Cook Inlet here. This is Cook Inlet. This is a 1.5 tremor near Nilichik, Alaska. Okay, we have earthquakes here in Nilichik all the time. Literally all the time. Going further up here to the north, California Ski, Alaska. Fancy that. This is a 1.2 tremor here. Going further north from here, okay, this is also 1.2 tremor. Let's go across the body of water here, across the Cook Inlet here. This is a 2.5. This is a 2.5. Okay, 23 miles east-northeast of Nikiski, Alaska. Okay, going up here. This is a 0.4. This happens to be east, almost directly east of Mount Redoubt, a volcano. A volcano, guys. We have tremors and we have minor earthquakes around Mount Redoubt, Alaska. Mount Redoubt, a volcano. Go further north up here, okay? This is almost directly west of Anchorage. This is a 1.1 tremor here. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. Almost directly north of Anchorage here, we have a 1.7 tremor here. 1.7 tremor. However, this is a 2.6 earthquake here. Okay, this is 4 miles northwest of Eagle River, Alaska. Let's go further north here up to Sutton Alpine, Alaska. This is the 2.2 earthquake here. We go over here to the northwest. Fishhook, Alaska, 1.2 tremor here. Okay, I'm going to go further west out here. This is Talkeetna, Alaska. Talkeetna, Alaska. Now, if you, as boys and girls, young kids, read a book about Alaska, Talkeetna, Alaska was mentioned in that book. Okay, that's a 1.3 tremor there. Further here to the west, this is a 1.3 tremor. South of Denali, Alaska, Denali National Park. Just a little bit south there, 1.3 tremor. This is southeast of Screeton, Alaska. Southeast of Screeton, Alaska. Then we come up here on the eastern side of Denali, Alaska. This is a 1.7 tremor. Okay, let's go over here into Denali National Park. This is on the north side of Mount McKinley. on the north side or north flank of Mount McKinley. This is a 2.1 minor earthquake. Up here on the western side of Denali National Park, this is a 1.7 tremor. Now, just for all of you to know, USBS has this east-southeast of Denali. You can plainly see that this earthquake is northwest of Denali National Park, not east-southeast. Okay? We go further north up here. This is also a 1.6 tremor. They have this as 29 miles east of Denali, Alaska. No, it's not. It's more like 29 miles northwest of Denali, Alaska. Again, USBS has all their directions foobarred. That's pretty much typical. That's pretty much typical. Now, you guys can see here on your map, this is a 2.0 earthquake. This is also up here in the northern part of Denali, Alaska. Okay, this is a 2.0. USGS has this also 9 miles east-southeast of Denali. It's not. Okay, this is up on the north side of Denali National Park. Okay, for the north. Okay, this is Manly Hot Springs, Alaska. In the past few years, we've talked about Manly Hot Springs a lot. Again, what do we have out here? Molten magma beneath the surface here. Okay, there are volcanoes out here, aren't there? There are 160 volcanoes in and around Alaska. That's why we have Manly Hot Springs. Okay, magma down beneath the surface heating up the hot springs here. This is a 2.5 minor earthquake. Further northwest out here, a 1.2 tremor here. Okay, out here to the east here, this is a 0.7 microquake. Out here, okay, where's it at? It's north of Fairbanks, Alaska, isn't it? This is a 1.4 tremor here. A 1.4 tremor here. Look where it's at. We just happen to have a quarry here. A quarry. This may very well be one of the first times, I can't say it is the first time, but it's one of the first times the USGS has gotten this wrong again. Okay? Yes, they've labeled this a tremor here at the quarry. This may very well be a tremor, but this time it's right next to a quarry here, just north of Fairbanks, Alaska. Okay, I wanted to point that out. Okay, south of that quarry here, south of that earthquake, we have another 1.1 tremor here near Salcha, Alaska. Okay, here near Salcha, Alaska here, we had a 5.1 earthquake here a year ago. A large 5.1 earthquake hit here in Salcha, Alaska. This may very well be a minor aftershock here. Okay, now look what we have. I pretty much showed you all of the earthquakes here in southern Alaska, except down here in the southeast. There are no other earthquakes here in Alaska at all. They're all up here in the southern part of Alaska. We go down here to the southeast. Actually, let's start right here. This is near Cordova, Alaska. Near Cordova, Alaska. This is a 2.3 earthquake. Just to the northeast here is McCarthy, Alaska. This is a 0.6 microquake. Further out here to the east, right here, a 3.0 magnitude earthquake. 76 kilometers west-northwest of Yakutak, Alaska. Okay, that's significant here. 3.0 small earthquake here. But again, we have no other major, large, or moderate earthquakes here in Alaska at all, especially nothing more around the Arctic Circle. Nothing more around the Arctic Circle. This area here of grayish brown, white here, this is the Arctic Circle here. The tundra of Alaska. No earthquakes there, and that's a good thing. Okay? Now, I want to take you over to Hawaii really quick. Let's take a look at Hawaii. Okay? First off, down here near Fern Forest. Down here near Fern Forest. This is the 1.3 tremor here. Over just on the south, or actually not the south, but the northeast rim of Kilauea. Remember, Kilauea is erupting. This is on the northeast rim here. This is a 1.9 tremor. Down here, where Kilauea is erupting here, what do we have? This is the 1.4 tremor here. This is the 1.0 tremor here. Right next to the eruption, the fountain eruption here at Kilauea. Okay? That's what's happening here. What do you think is happening up here at Mauna Loa? We have a 2.0 minor earthquake over here at the summit of Mauna Loa. The summit rim of Mauna Loa here. 2.0 earthquake. Let's go up here to the north, near the north shore here of the Big Island. This is a 2.7 earthquake here. 2.7 minor earthquake here. This happens to be 7.7 kilometers deep. Okay. Further out here to the northwest here. This is Kapau, Hawaii. K-A-P-A-A-U, Hawaii. This is a 2.2 earthquake here. 2.2 earthquake here. So far, these are the only earthquakes on the Big Island. And these two earthquakes here may also be magma motivated. These two earthquakes up here on the northern end of the Big Island here may be magma oriented, meaning magma down beneath the surface caused these quakes. Just throwing that out there for you. Okay. Now I want to go down here into New Zealand area here. I'm going down here to the southern shore of the South Island of New Zealand. This is a 4.3 earthquake here, 66 miles west of Riverton, New Zealand. A 4.3 earthquake here. This is 39 miles deep. 39 miles deep. There are 3 other earthquakes here also right here in the Southland National Park here. Okay, a 2.9 and a 3.1 earthquake over here in Southland National Park, New Zealand here on the South Island. Now earlier today here on the northern part of the South Island here, right over here, we had a 2.1 earthquake. They took it down. They took it down. Now the European map may show these earthquakes still. There are several other minor earthquakes here in the Cook Strait here. This is the Cook Strait, the body of water between the North and South Island of New Zealand. Okay, that's normal. USGS is not showing any earthquakes here on the North Island at all. That's a fallacy. That's a complete fallacy. There are approximately 10 earthquakes here on the North Island. 10 earthquakes here on the North Island, a couple earthquakes down here to the southeast here, a couple earthquakes over here to the northwest of the volcano here. This lake is a volcano. Taupo Lake is a volcano. We have some minor earthquakes just to the northwest of Taupo Lake. We have more earthquakes up here north of Taupo Lake here, near the Catcher's Mitt here, near the Bay of Plenty here. A total of about 16 earthquakes here around the North Island. That's pretty typical. That's very typical. Earlier today, right here in the Kermadec Islands area, we had a 4.7 earthquake here. This has been taken down as well. Let's go over here to the Loyalty Islands here. Okay, this earthquake we showed you yesterday, this is a 5.0 earthquake here in Loyalty Islands. Okay, going over here to the northeast, I'm sorry, to the northeast here, this is a 4.7 earthquake. This happened earlier this morning, 9:45 Eastern time this morning. 4.7 earthquake, this is a deep quake. Okay, this is 353 miles deep, 607 miles deep, a deep quake. This says here, because it's a deep quake, this is telling us that this quake here is going to propagate a larger shallow earthquake. It's going to propagate a larger shallow earthquake within the next 3 to 10 days. Okay, it's going to propagate probably a 5.7, 5.8 earthquake here. It's going to propagate a 5.7 to 5.8 earthquake, either in this region, or it could also go all the way over here to South America. I doubt it's going to do that. I believe that larger earthquake is either going to be here in the Fiji region, or it could go over here to the Aleutian Islands here. Could go over here to the Aleutian Islands, right here. This is the Solomon Islands. That 5.7, 5.8 earthquake could go over here to the Solomon Islands, right here today. This is a 4.6 earthquake. 4.6 earthquake, 108 miles south-southeast of Lata, Solomon Islands, out in the ocean. Nobody felt this earthquake either. This earthquake right here, we talked about this yesterday. This is a 5.0 earthquake here. This is 48 miles southwest of Lata, Solomon Islands. Nobody felt this earthquake either. It happened yesterday. Okay, let's go over here to Papua New Guinea really quick here. Right here. This is the 4.7 earthquake here. Again, this is on land here. This is on land in the hilly area here in Papua New Guinea. This 4.7 earthquake probably knocked down some shacks and caused some heartache for people that are very poor here in Papua New Guinea. Okay? They live here, they work here near their land because it's not very populated. There are no real businesses here at all. They live off the land. They subsist off the land. Earthquakes like this may disrupt their days. 4.7 earthquake has 4.7 magnitude, meaning moderate shaking. Moderate shaking. Now the USGS is saying that these 4.0, 4.9s are light earthquakes. Please don't be deceived. It was last spring, a year ago this last spring, the USGS started instituting 4.0, 4.9 quakes to be light earthquakes. There's nothing light about a 4.0, 4.9. They are moderate quakes that cause moderate damage. Remember that. Please remember that. Let's continue this discussion here. Let's go further west here. Okay? Right here also in Papua New Guinea. This earthquake happened at 2:39 p.m. Eastern Time today. This is also a 4.8 earthquake. 22 miles east-northeast of Ambunti, Papua New Guinea. Again, 4.8 earthquakes are moderate quakes. Anybody living in this general area is going to feel these quakes and be caught off guard, may have their property destroyed because these earthquakes do moderate damage, and these people only live in cardboard and thatched roof homes, even if they're made of wood. Moderate earthquakes do moderate damage. These people are very poor here. Okay? Now let's continue up here to the northwest. Okay? We have a small casualty of earthquakes here. This earthquake happened at 6:18 this morning. That's a 4.7. This is a 5.0. This happened at 12:41 p.m. this afternoon. Okay? This earthquake is a 5 or 4.4 earthquake. This happened at 3:14. So this earthquake and this earthquake are foreshocks of this 5.0 earthquake. Look where they're at. They're offshore. This 5.0 earthquake is 119 miles north of anything here. 119 miles north of Aveyah, Indonesia. I don't believe anybody felt these earthquakes because they're offshore. The people of Indonesia are lucky. They're lucky. Okay? They have had large earthquakes now. They have had upwards of 7.4 earthquakes up here near Aveyah, Indonesia in the past. Okay? Let's go over here to the Banda Sea here. This is Los Palos, Timor-Leste, Indonesia. A 4.5 earthquake here in the Banda Sea. Now, I don't believe anybody felt this earthquake. 71 miles southeast of Los Palos, Indonesia. Actually, northeast of Los Palos. Out in the Banda Sea. Nobody felt this earthquake. Okay? It's on the edge of the plate here. Look where the earthquake fault is. On the edge of the plate. As I've said earlier on many times during this program, between Tonga and Samoa out here to the east, going all the way down here to the southern part of New Zealand, including Australia, and all of Indonesia and Papua New Guinea. There are 7 different tectonic plates in this region. 7 different tectonic plates in this region, and they're all moving. One tectonic plate moving underneath the other. It's all subduction. It is subduction earthquakes. Now, what does that matter? Let me bring up our webcam really quick, and I'll show you what it matters. Okay? Let me bring up this webcam. One tectonic plate subducting on the other, just like this. Just like this. One tectonic plate deep diving under the other tectonic plate. This is the world's largest tectonic plate subduction. 7 different plates subducting just like this. That's why we have so many earthquakes. Several years ago, I had a lady write from Indonesia and asked me why we had so many earthquakes down here, and that's the reason. This is a huge subduction area. These earthquakes are going to continue for a very long time. Okay? You can't get away from it. You can't get away from it. This is going to happen for years and years to come. Years and years to come, guys. Now, one more earthquake over here in central Indonesia here. Actually, we could actually say this is north central Indonesia. This is another 5.0 earthquake here. This is 28 miles deep. 28 miles deep. Look where this earthquake is. It's in the hill. This is the coastal region right next to the mountainous region of Indonesia here. Huge risk. Huge risk. What do we have here? When we have coastal regions here, what do we have? Populations. Populations. Look what we have here, guys. We have cities. We have towns. We have people living here. This was a large earthquake. These people felt this earthquake and endured it. We may have some injuries and definitely some damage here in Indonesia. This is 33 miles east of Palu, Indonesia. A 5.0 large earthquake here. Unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. This kind of circumstance happens all the time here in Indonesia. We have more earthquakes than this. I believe we have, if I'm not mistaken, we have 36 earthquakes here in Indonesia total. But again, USGS is not showing up at all. They're not showing earthquakes over here in Burma, Myanmar area. Burma is now called Myanmar, okay? Military has been trying to take Myanmar and make it a military state. So far, they've still been unsuccessful. There is civil war here in Burma, Myanmar area. We've had earthquakes here, and earthquakes continue to hit here. But again, we're not seeing anything here because the agency isn't going to show them to us. Okay? What's happening over here? Yes, we do have earthquakes here in China. We have earthquakes here in Afghanistan. This earthquake you see in yellow happened yesterday. In fact, now it's taken down. That was a 4.7 earthquake. 4.7 earthquake. What's the problem here? What's the problem here in Afghanistan? We had a 6.0 earthquake here. We had a 6.0 earthquake here on Sunday. As of yesterday, we've had 900 people have passed away here in Afghanistan. 900 people passed away in Afghanistan, and now close to 2,200 injured. 900 passed away and close to 2,200 people injured, and there may be more than that as people are found and pulled from the rubble. Very sad day here. And I know there are other earthquakes here, but again, the agency's not going to show them to us. Not going to happen. There are earthquakes all over Europe, and they're not showing them here at all. Not at all. Very sad day. The United States Geological Survey does not talk about earthquakes. They can hardly talk about earthquakes here in the United States at all. They're not covering earthquakes like they used to out here in the world. They used to talk about them all the time. All the time. Down here, south of the Drake Passage, okay, out here on the Antarctic Ridge. This is a 4.8 moderate earthquake here. The 4.8 moderate earthquake, 5.2 miles deep. 5.2 miles deep here. Okay? Hardly showing anything going on at all. Now this earthquake on the Antarctic Ridge, it may pull over here, as you can see, around the tectonic plate here. You can see the earthquake fault, the tectonic plate here. This seismic energy may pull through around the tectonic plate, the edge of the plate, and it may move over here into the mid-Atlantic. We shall see what we see. That's a 4.8 earthquake. Going over here into South America. There are many earthquakes here in South Central Chile. They're not showing them, are they? Going up here to the north. Northern Chile here has 15 earthquakes here. They are showing us one. A 4.4 earthquake over here east of Camina, Chile. 4.4 earthquake, 78 kilometers deep. Going over here into Colombia. This is a large 5.3 earthquake here. This is 101 miles deep here. 5.3 earthquake here. Puyo, Ecuador. Puyo, Ecuador. This is in the foothills of the Andes Mountains here. It's in the foothills of the Andes Mountains down here in what they call the Pampas, the ranch area, the farming area of Ecuador. Okay? A 5.3 large earthquake here. Again, there are more earthquakes here in Ecuador, Colombia area, and they're not showing them at all. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Central America. What a fallacy. 12 earthquakes here in Central America. 42 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. Southern Mexico. Hardly showing anything at all, are they? Not much. Not much. Southern Texas. Smiley, Texas. Down here around Smiley, Texas, we had a 5.1 earthquake here about a year and a half ago. This area is still active, isn't it? This is a 2.0 earthquake here. Why? Why do you think we're having earthquakes here in southern Texas? Hurricane Heather says she believes that number of earthquakes is exponentially higher in Afghanistan. I agree. I totally agree. Hurricane Heather says Afghanistan has more than 1,400 plus lost souls. I agree. I saw the 900 number earlier this morning. Yes, it's probably closer to 1,400 by now. Unreal. Trish Killing is here in the chat saying light rainfall in Arizona in the movie desert 1 hour northeast of Las Vegas. Not surprising. You guys are getting that monsoonal moisture coming out of Mexico. You guys are getting that monsoonal moisture coming out of New Mexico, or Mexico coming in here to Arizona and going all the way up here into Nevada and again into northern Utah or southern Utah. Okay, that's what's happening. That's going to continue to happen too. I believe the monsoonal moisture is going to continue probably for the next 30 days. I believe it's going to happen for the next 30 days here. Now we come up to earthquakes in Southern California. I'm going to briefly show you earthquakes here in Southern California. The Imperial Valley here that you see here, I'm going to show you an earthquake over here. It's actually a quarry blast here in Chula Vista, California. I'm going to show you earthquakes here in northeast San Diego County. I'm going to show you earthquakes up here in Los Angeles. A lot. Okay? Down here in the Imperial Valley, literally right next to the border. Literally right next to the border. You can see that here. Okay? Right here. This is a 3.9, 4.0 earthquake here. Literally right next to the border. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. And again, this is also 1.3 tremor. Right next to the border in the Imperial Valley. We go north into the desert between the Chocolate Mountains and El Centro. This is a 0.9 microquake here. 0.9 microquake here. Now here you can see Interstate 8 here. Interstate 8 comes out of San Diego, goes over and through the Chocolate Mountains and into El Centro, California. Guess what? They are not showing any earthquakes here. What a joke. We have about 15 3.0 earthquakes here already. 15 earthquakes here in El Centro by itself. They're not showing us anything, are they? Nothing. Not a thing. All throughout this desert community down here in the Imperial Valley, they're not showing us squat. Not squat. Earthquakes all over this area, guys. They're not showing us anything. Bombay Beach, California, right here. This is a ghost town. They're not showing us anything else at all. There are 8 earthquakes here. 8 earthquakes here in Bombay Beach. There may be even more since I pulled the seismograph. 8 3.0 plus earthquakes here. Small 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here in Bombay Beach. They're not showing us anything. Sad day. Sad day. Down here is southeast of the Salton Sea. Calipatria, California here. Usually we see anywhere between 70 to 150 earthquakes here every day. They're not showing us anything at all. Not showing us anything at all. Over here, just southeast of the southeast part of the Salton Sea here, Westmoreland, California. They're not showing us anything here. Why not? Why not? They should be. They turned off the seismograph here in Westmoreland. They turned it off about 3 months ago. We still have earthquakes here in Westmoreland. They're just not showing them to us. Like I said, down in El Centro, we have earthquakes. We have earthquakes. Go figure. Where else do you think we might have earthquakes? Right here. Raleigh, California. Fancy that. They're not showing us any earthquakes here at all. Why not? Why do you think they're not showing us earthquakes? Because they want us to believe that nothing's going on here. Heaven forbid we have nothing going on here. People here in the Imperial Valley feel these earthquakes. They feel these earthquakes and know that they're happening. The town of Imperial here, right here, I'm going to show you a 3.5 earthquake here in the town of Imperial. Unreal. And even down here to the south in El Centro, Earthquake City. Earthquake City. Now, guys, in San Diego County, right here, this is southeast San Diego County. This is east of Chula Vista. East of Chula Vista. Look what we have here. Right here next to a quarry, inside a quarry. Fancy that. Guess what? A 1.4 tremor here. They have this as a 1.4 tremor, but this may very well be a quarry blast. A quarry blast here at this quarry here, just east of Chula Vista, California. Southeast San Diego County. I used to live over here. I used to live here in San Diego. I used to work here. I know this area like the back of my hand. We have earthquakes of all kinds here. We have tremors of all kinds. But heaven forbid they show it to us. Heaven forbid they show it to us. Hurricane Heather says Kiko is a Cat 4 major hurricane. Major hurricane in the central mid-Atlantic. Go figure. We're going to talk more about that tomorrow. We'll talk more about Hurricane Kiko tomorrow morning. Probably tomorrow morning. Okay? But again, we have earthquakes all over this area. All over Southern California. But heaven forbid they tell us about it. Up here to the north. Northeast San Diego, California, on the Pala Indian Reservation. On the Pala Indian Reservation. This is a 0.7 microquake. Northeast San Diego County. Further here to the northeast, Fallbrook, California, at 0.4 microquake. Out here, also east of Fallbrook, a 1.8 tremor here. Go out here further east here. Guess what? Anza-Borrego Desert. That's a 1.2 tremor. This is a 0.2 microquake. This is 0.7 microquake. This is 0.3 microquake. Further south here, a 1.0 tremor. Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, northeast San Diego County. Over here to the north, also part of the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, at 0.6 microquake here. Okay, but they're still not showing us all the earthquakes here. Over here, also part of the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, this is a 1.0 tremor here. Guess what? It's also 7.6 miles deep. Interesting. Fascinating here. The mountainous region of Southern California, and we have an earthquake that deep. Guess what? The San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault. That's why. That's why. Further south here, Borrego Springs, also part of the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, northeast San Diego County. 1.3 tremor here. This is a 0.7 microquake. Further south here, also in Borrego Springs, a 0.7 microquake here. Okay, all kinds of quakes and tremors here. What about here on the San Andreas Fault? Morongo Valley, California, a 1.5 tremor. Out here to the south, southeast, Desert Hot Springs, San Andreas Fault, 1.1 tremor. Over here to the north, this is just west of the San Andreas Fault, Yucaipa, California, 1.2 tremor. Over here to the west, Redlands, California, the San Jacinto Fault, 1.6 tremor. Also on the San Jacinto, a 1.8, Loma Linda, California. Good old Loma Linda, California here. Look where it's at. Now this is almost directly southeast of Loma Linda Medical Center. Loma Linda Medical Center is right there. This is a 1.8 tremor nobody felt. Too small to feel. But I'm going to show you a lot more earthquakes than this. This is the Peanuts Gallery. There are a lot more earthquakes than this. Okay? Now, if you'll let me here, I'm going to show you the earthquakes now. Let me take down the USGS map here. I'm going to bring up our webcam here. This is Channel Islands. off the coast of Los Angeles. Okay, for the most part, all we have here are tremors. That's it. But as late as last week, we had a 3.0 small earthquake here. We've had quite a few other 3.0 small earthquakes here on the Channel Island. We've had more minor earthquakes than this here on the Channel Island before. You're going to notice one thing here on the seismograms. We have had less and less seismic activity here this week than we've had here in the past. We have fewer larger quakes. By larger quakes, I'm talking about fewer 3.0s, fewer 4.0, 4.5 quakes as well. You're going to see a lot more tremors here. Today, you're going to see a lot more tremors here. But we're also going to show you some 3.5, 4.0 earthquakes here in Southern California. They're happening. The agencies are just not telling us about it. These earthquakes are happening and the agencies aren't telling us about it. Let's go out to the desert in Bakersfield. Good old Bakersfield. What's going on here? What's going on here in Bakersfield? Yes, we have quite a few minor earthquakes here. Almost all of these are minor earthquakes except for two. Up here towards the top right here on the green line. Okay, this green line here on the far right is 5:59 a.m. this morning. 5:59 a.m. this morning, we had a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Bakersfield, California, on the San Andreas Fault. You can see some good sized tremors here as well. One of the first tremors here this morning was after 5:46 a.m. on the green line here on the left. That could have been just a 2.0, 2.2 earthquake, but I think it was just a tremor. You don't see any other tremors here at all. I shouldn't say you don't see any larger tremors here at all. You have just tremors, that's all. That's all. Okay? Let's go over to the desert area of Hemet, Orange County, California. I love Hemet. I have relatives over here in Hemet, California. Okay? I have a sister-in-law here in Hemet, California. Her husband died. Her husband died. Died of a heart attack. Not of his causing, it was a hereditary heart attack. Here in Hemet, we have nothing but tremors. We have had minor earthquakes here in Hemet before, but these are minor tremors here. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's go back out to the desert area of Rancho Mirage, California. These tremors are attributable to the San Andreas Fault. We've had minor earthquakes here before, but these are just tremors here in Rancho Mirage. Over here in Victorville, our friend Isaiah's granny, who is a member of our EMA family, lives here in Victorville with her family. Look at this. We have a couple of minor earthquakes here. We have a couple of minor earthquakes here this morning. Other than that, all we have here are tremors. Minor earthquakes are 2.0 earthquakes, that's all. All the rest of these are tremors here. Isaiah's granny and her family did feel these minor earthquakes. They're very tiny earthquakes. They didn't feel the tremors either. Let's go over to Orange County. Okay. The reason I pulled up this map here is to show you where Ivy Glen is. Ivy Glen is over here in Orange County, California. Okay. I want to show you some of the towns around here. Canyon Lake, Lake Elsinore here to the south. Glen Ivy Road here is where we have a bunch of natural hot springs. Natural hot springs. Well, guess what else? I'm going to show you what happened here in Glen Ivy today. This might blow your mind. This may very well blow your mind. At least I think I have it here. Look at this. This seismogram is Ivy Glen, California. This morning, this is not this morning, this is yesterday evening, just after 5:02 p.m. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here in Ivy Glen, California. Now, where it's at. Why do you think I told you that it was just east of the hot springs? That's because this earthquake here and all the other tremors may be magma induced. There may be magma down beneath this earthquake. There may be magma down beneath this earthquake today. Linda Covington is talking about a landslide in the Sudan in the Middle East. Whole village swallowed in caldera. Landslide. Sad. Thanks, Hurricane Heather. We appreciate you. But I hadn't showed you this Ivy Glen before, but I want to today because we have some earthquakes out here. Okay. Let's go over to Los Angeles, the Baldwin Hills. For the first time in months now, many months, Caltech and USGS are now showing earthquakes here. These are tremors. For the past months now, all they've shown us is 2 hours worth of seismic activity here in the Baldwin Hills. For whatever reason. These are tremors, nothing more than nothing less. Yes, we have had in the past minor earthquakes here sometimes, not all the time. But here is the oil and gas pumping region of Los Angeles. There's a reason they called it Baldwin Hills. Okay? They bulldozed the trees here. It used to be a huge forested area and a lot of hills. They bulldozed the hills to put in oil and gas pumping operations here. All over the Baldwin Hills, we have probably 200 pumps and jacks pumping oil and gas here. Okay, but we only see tremors here. Why are they monitoring seismic activity here? Because the seismic activity could affect the pumping. The seismic activity could be a factor in pumping oil and gas here. If we have an earthquake here, as we've had in the past, here in Los Angeles, those earthquakes can reduce oil pressure, pumping oil into the pumps here. That's why. Now, one of the reasons that the USGS and the others don't tell us about earthquakes here just so you know. They don't want anybody to know, because if something happens, what's going to happen to these pumps and jacks? What is going to happen to these pumps and jacks? It's bad. It could get very bad. Okay? Just so you know. All right. Let's continue this discussion. Let's go out to Chino, California, to the east. In the past months, we've had minor tremors here and minor earthquakes. Minor tremors we still have. The minor earthquakes have stopped. Minor earthquakes are 2.0 to 2.9 minor earthquakes. They're not showing any of those here. And they're showing very few minor tremors. Like I said, the number of tremors here going on here in the LA region has gone down, unless they've purposely taken activity off the documents, which they've done before. They may have done that before, and they've done it again. Actually, I shouldn't say they may have done it before, because they have done it before, and they may have done it again. But this is what's happening here in Chino, California. Again, we've had more activity here before. Now it's a lot less. Let's go over to northern Los Angeles into Moore Park. Actually, before we get to Moore Park, let's go to Del Amo, California. Look at this. North of Los Angeles still have a lot of activity. Okay. Yes, we're seeing minor tremors here. In the past, we've seen minor earthquakes, and we've also seen 3.0 earthquakes here in Del Amo, California. We're still seeing a great deal of tremors here. Tremors seem to be nonstop here in Del Amo, California. But we're not seeing the larger activity. We're not seeing the larger activity here in Del Amo. Let's drop down to Ellis, California. Here in Ellis, California, we've seen a lot more tremors here before. Now it's got less and less tremors. And in fact, the tremors have gotten a lot smaller. The tremor activity's gotten a lot smaller. We also used to see a lot more minor earthquakes as well. Ellis, California. Now, I want to go over to Moore Park, north of Los Angeles. Here we're still seeing tremors. We're still seeing minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.8. But what happened here on the right side of the seismogram? What happened here on the right side of the seismogram? This was after 7:13 p.m. last night. 7:13 p.m. last night, we had a 3.8 earthquake. A 3.8 earthquake. Notice this. They chopped off the top and the bottom of the sequence here. This earthquake lasted a full minute and a half. They chopped off the top and the bottom so we wouldn't know exactly how strong it was. But we had another earthquake before that. Approximately 6:12 last night. That's a 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake, and this lasted several seconds. The wideness of this earthquake it was several, at least probably 5 or 10 seconds. 3.0 earthquake. But this one here after 7:13, 7:14 last night, guess what? Lasted a minute and a half. 3.8 earthquake north of Los Angeles. Seismic activity is continuing here. The seismic activity here in the Los Angeles area is continuing. People felt that earthquake. Lasted an awful long time. Minute and a half earthquake. Now you guys need to know this. Usually when we have a full-blown major earthquake, those full-blown major earthquakes sometimes last 15 to 20 seconds. That's all. These smaller earthquakes last a minute and a half. Fascinating. When you feel your house shaking for that long a time, okay, 7:13, 7:14 p.m. in the evening, you may have just got up from your dinner and walked in your front room to settle in front of your TV. Or maybe you're working on your computer in your office. Or maybe you're helping your children with their homework. And then you feel the ground move like this. You feel the ground shaking. Maybe it's your office chair, your dining room table, or your furniture in your living room shaking like this. Shaking like this. What's going through your mind? What might be going through your mind here, guys? Moore Park, California, just north of Los Angeles. We're still having earthquakes in LA. We're still seeing earthquakes here in Los Angeles. Now I want to go out to Fontana. Fontana is just west of the San Andreas Fault. And it's also south of Loma Linda, where we showed you that one earthquake earlier. Look what's happening here in Fontana. Seismic energy is not stopped. It's continued. It hasn't stopped. It may have slowed down during certain time periods, but it has not stopped. We're seeing some minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9, and this morning, let me enlarge the side web so you can see what I'm talking about. This morning, after approximately 3:04 a.m. this morning, another 3.0, 3.2 earthquake. 3.0, 3.2 earthquake, but look at the one above it on the red line. That is a 3.3, 3.5 earthquake there. Okay, look at that. 3.3 earthquake this morning. 3:23 p.m. or 3:23 a.m. this morning. Then another 2.9, 3.0 earthquake here later this morning here, just after 4:32. Actually, just before 4:32 this morning. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. Okay. Fontana, California. This is just west of the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault is still moving, guys. The San Andreas Fault is still moving. Regardless of what they might say, the San Andreas Fault is still moving. I said that 3 times. When I say something 3 times, it means it's important. Now, I've been criticized for saying things 3 times. Oh, Ron, you're just repeating yourself. I want people to pay attention. The reason I repeat myself is I want people to pay attention about what's going on. Because things are happening. We're about to see Los Angeles completely fall apart. We are about to see Los Angeles come to pieces, literally. Let's go out to Fox Airport in Lancaster, also on the San Andreas Fault. Out here in Lancaster, California, we're not seeing anything more than just tremors, occasional tremors at that. Nothing more than occasional tremors here in Lancaster, California. Interesting, huh? Absolutely is. Now, I want to go over to the coastline just south of LA. Let's go out to Laguna Niguel, California. Look here, guys. Look here. Let me enlarge this sideground so you can truly see what I want to show you here. The top of this sidegram is showing you 5 p.m. yesterday evening. Yes, we had a bunch of tremors here. The tremors were consistent and strong tremors. 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 tremors here. As the night went on, the tremors became less strong and more infrequent. Where have you heard that before? They turned the seismogram down. Actually, they turned the seismogram, the machine down. So the seismogram would not show much activity at night. That's what we're showing you here. But what happened early this morning? What happened after approximately 2:15 this morning? We had a tremor increase, didn't we? We had a tremor increase, and that continued on throughout the morning. This proves the fact that I've talked about. They don't want us to see certain things happen. So if they turn them down, that means we're not going to see it, right? We're going to figure it out. We may not see it right off the bat, but we're going to figure it out. Because it comes to bite them in the butt later. Okay? That was Laguna Niguel. Let's go up the beach area to Long Beach. Light Hype. Long Beach here at Light Hype seismogram shows a lot of activity. Most of this activity is nothing more than tremors. Yes, I believe we've had some minor earthquakes here as well. The minor earthquakes here are the longer lines on near the top of this seismogram. So we are having tremors and minor earthquakes in Long Beach. In the past few weeks, we've also seen small 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here in Long Beach, California. It's going to happen again. It will happen again. It's a matter of time. Look at the bottom of this sideground. Yes, you might see some 2.0 earthquakes, but that's all. Most of all this activity is just tremors here. Nothing more than tremors here. Mira Loma, just south of Loma Linda, where I showed you that earthquake earlier. We're just seeing tremors here as well. 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 tremors at the most. Mira Loma, California. That jives with just one tremor that USGS showed us at Loma Linda. But again, they're not showing us everything at Loma Linda either. They're just showing us one tremor. The tremors are continuing like this here, just like you're seeing right here. They're happening. They are going to continue to happen for a long time. These tremors are not going away. Okay. Moore Park, California, I showed this earthquake here. Earthquakes have not gone away either. All right. I showed you Laguna Beach earlier. Let's go over to Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey. This is Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey. We have a lot of expensive homes here. Multi-million-dollar homes here in Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey area. Guess what? The ground is still moving. A few months ago, we had some 3.0 earthquakes here as well. The ground is still moving. It's moving in a big way. It's not going to stop. The top line here is 5 p.m. on the black line. After that, we see 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8, 9, 10, 11, and then finally midnight last night. Notice how the size of the tremors goes down. The size of the tremors gets smaller as it approaches midnight. As the clock ticks down to midnight, the tremors get smaller. I've explained this before. That's because they turn down the seismograph. They turn down the seismograph on almost all of the seismographs. Turn the strength down. That way, in case something happens, they have plausible deniability. Oh, it didn't show up on our machines. Why not? We're tracking it. We are tracking it, ladies and gentlemen. We're tracking it. Every day we're tracking it. Christine is here. Welcome, Christine. We appreciate that. Christine is asking everyone, is that by the La Brea tar pits? No. No, it's not. Let me go over here and see if I showed it here. I don't think I did. No, I have not shown you the seismogram from the Emergency Operations Center in downtown Los Angeles. That's because there's nothing to show you. The seismograph people and I shouldn't say seismograph people, the geologists, the seismologists, and the emergency management personnel turn the seismograph at the Emergency Operations Center in downtown Los Angeles. They turn it basically all but off. It's not showing much of anything. It's almost dead. That seismogram would show us things that are the seismic activity that's actually happening over by the La Brea tar pits. It's not existent because they turned it way, way down. Tiny, tiny tremors. 0.1 tremors. Okay? Unfortunately, they turned it down. It doesn't mean the activity is still not happening. It is. I've shown you earthquakes here. Earthquakes are continuing. Yes, the seismic activity has gone smaller, but the activity is still continuing. Okay? That's Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey area on the northeast coast of Los Angeles. Let's go over to north of Los Angeles to Rio Hondo. Look what's happening here in Rio Hondo. I've never seen this happen in Rio Hondo before. What's happening here? This is magma going through magma channels down beneath the city. This is magma heading from the Pacific Ocean. Heading from the Pacific Ocean over the volcanoes to the east. We've never seen this before at Rio Hondo before. Not ever. But this proves what we've been talking about. Magma beneath the surface going eastbound towards the volcanoes. And yes, there are volcanoes east of Los Angeles. There are volcanoes east of Los Angeles. Let me show you one now. Look at this. This is a volcano east of Los Angeles. Walnut, California, La Puente, California. This is a caldera. The cities of Walnut, California, and La Puente, California are built on the top of a volcano. That's why you're seeing this activity here. Magma down beneath the surface is hammering away at the volcano, hammering away at the lava plug, which is a caldera, the top of which is a caldera of the volcano. Magma is coming under pressure, hammering away at the caldera. What's happening? SO2 levels, sulfur dioxide levels have risen. CO2, carbon dioxide levels have risen here as well. Because magma is hammering away at that lava plug. The cities of Walnut and La Puente are sitting on top of a lava plug. At some point in time, that lava plug is going to go pooey. And La Puente and Walnut are going to go away. They're going to go away. Yes, we are seeing 3.0, 3.5, possibly even 4.5 earthquake activity here. The top and the bottom of every one of these earthquake sequences that you see here, the top and the bottom of every one of the sequences here has been cut off. They're not showing us true strengths of earthquakes here. The top and the bottom of every one of these sequences have been cut off. They don't want us to see what's going on. These are 3.0, 3.5, and possibly as strong as 4.0 earthquakes here in Walnut, La Puente. You can see it here. Yes, they also have their tremor activity as well. But the tremors build up to earthquakes, and earthquakes begin to get stronger here. They move from 3.0 small to upwards of 4.0, maybe even larger, up to 4.5 moderate strength here. That's what's going on here. That's what's happening here. So, Christine, if you were interested in the La Brea tar pits, you got to be very interested in what's going on right here. It's happening. Up on the top of that black line up to the top. 5 a.m. over on the left-hand side. So over here, we're now at 5:05 p.m. yesterday evening. 5:05 yesterday evening, we have at least a 5.04, 3.0, 3.5 earthquake, small earthquake. We cannot see the top of that seismic signal. We can't see the bottom because it's covered by other seismic activity. But we can see what's going on. Los Angeles is moving. Yes, we have volcanoes in Southern California. USGS doesn't like us to know about it. That's one of the reasons I'm showing it to you. Everybody deserves to know about it. Now let's go south. Actually, before we go south, let's go into central Los Angeles, over the University of Southern California, Los Angeles. USC. Again, you see some tremors up at the top yesterday evening. Then as the night goes on, the tremors get less and less in size. And they never really recover. They turn the seismographs down. They turn the seismographs down at night. Heaven forbid they tell us exactly what's happening. I would hate to have a 5.5, 5.6, 5.8 very large earthquake hit in Los Angeles. Because all it would show up would be a blip on this seismogram. They'd instantly have to revise the seismogram because they are lying to the public. Let's go down to San Diego, California. Southeast County, San Diego. This is Campo Elementary School in Southeast San Diego County. This is down near the border. We've shown you this seismogram before to you. We showed it to you before. I can't even talk. Yes, at the top, we're seeing nothing but tremors, sporadic tremors. But down near the bottom of this seismogram, what are we seeing? What are we seeing down near the bottom of this seismogram, everybody? Earthquakes. On the black line here after 3 a.m. this morning. 3:06 a.m. this morning, we have a 1.9 2.0 earthquake. 1.9 tremor, 2.0 earthquake. Then after 4:05 a.m. this morning, 2.9 3.0 earthquake. A 2.9 3.0 small earthquake. Campo Elementary School, San Diego. Southeast San Diego County. Yet I showed you a tremor in Chula Vista. This is northeast of Chula Vista in Campo, California. Incredible, huh? When you start looking for earthquakes, you're going to find them. You're definitely going to find them. Now, I want to go out to North County, San Diego. This is the San Onofre Nuclear Power Plant. The San Onofre Nuclear Power Plant has been decommissioned. But the seismograph is still there. The ground is still radioactive. We're still seeing tremors here. Now, over here after 9 p.m. last night at 2100. 2100 hours on the left-hand side is 9 p.m. last night. You see 1.2 tremors here. 1.2 tremors happening for about a minute and a half here. Before that, it was 1.0, 1.1. We're still getting some seismicity here at San Onofre. Still occurring. Still occurring. Now, I want to show you what is happening over by Camp Pendleton. But USGS and Caltech don't have the Camp Pendleton seismogram. It's been foobarred with. Been foobarred. Okay? That would have been northeast or North County, California. Or by Oceanside. Okay? Not there any longer. Let's go over into East County, California. Imperial County, east of San Diego. Good old Imperial County. What do you think is happening in the Imperial County, California? What do you think is happening in the Imperial County? I told you I would come over here to the town of Imperial. Look at this. We had a bunch of 3.0 earthquakes here. We had a bunch of 3.0 earthquakes here in the town of Imperial. I showed you where the town of Imperial was located. Located northeast of El Centro. Look at these large earthquakes here. The tops and the bottoms of these sequences have been cut off. That tells us that these earthquakes were larger than they're showing them here on the seismogram. Probably 3.5 earthquakes here. Probably 3.5 earthquakes here. You don't see any earthquakes or tremors before that, hardly. There are a couple. You hardly see anything after that. That is because after this earthquake hit, they turned it all the way down. They turned the controls of this seismograph all the way down. They basically did the same thing before this earthquake hit. How do I know? Look at the left side of this seismic sequence. It's very tiny. It's very tiny. It didn't take more than 60 seconds. It didn't take more than 60 seconds to have this earthquake go from just tiny tremors to a 2.5, 2.7, 2.8, 3.0, 3.5, possibly a 4.0 earthquake here. Yes, that's what happened here. That is exactly what happened here. They can deny it all they want. They can deny everything all they want. It's not going away. Earthquakes hit here. Earthquakes hit here, ladies and gentlemen. They can't deny what happened here today. The earth is moving down here in the Imperial Valley. It's moving a great deal. They can try to hide all the activity, but they can't. They can't. Because the data's there. The data's here, guys. You're seeing it here. You're seeing it. Like I said, it doesn't go away. They've tried to hide things. They've tried to make things just go away. Some things don't go away. Some things just don't go away. And if they do make it go away, guess what? At some point in time, it'll come back to bite them. It will come back to bite them in a big way. I've seen this happen time and time again here in Southern California. They hide it and they hide it and they hide it. And then it comes back and bites them. Okay? All right. Let's continue this discussion. I want you to know what's happening. Otherwise, I really wouldn't care. We have one of our own EMA family members, and probably two, still there around El Centro. One of our EMA family members lived over in Westmoreland. She passed away. I spoke to her husband and herself before she died. They follow this channel, and he may also still be following today. I would hope he would come up here in the chat and tell us he's still watching the channel. He lived in Westmoreland. Now, I'm going to show you another seismograph here. This particular seismogram is over at Elmore's Ranch, which is actually northwest of Westmoreland. Just on the southeast side of the Salton Sea is Elmore's Ranch. Southeast of there is Westmoreland. They turned off the seismograph at Westmoreland. This is what is happening now at Elmore's Ranch. Okay? We have tremor sequences here as well. We have tremor sequences here. Look at this. 1.2, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, and possibly even 1.7 tremors here. What do we see here? Thicker lines here. We have magma pulse signals. These are magma pulse signals, horizontal lines here. The lines get thicker and thinner here. Magma pulse signals. Why? Because, folks, we have a volcano on the southern side of the Salton Sea. It's called the Salton Butte Volcano. That's what we're seeing here. Magma pulse signals. Magma coming from the Pacific Ocean by San Diego, making their way all the way here to the Imperial County. Elmore's Ranch is showing this. The magma is headed for the active volcano called the Salton Butte Volcano in the southern end of the Salton Sea. And presently it's underwater. Presently it's underwater. But it is a volcano and it is very active. And yes, it could erupt at some point in time. We're not showing sufficient data that could erupt, but it could erupt. Okay? That's Elmore's Ranch. I wanted you to see that because we don't have the Westmoreland seismograph. I showed you now the seismograph at Elmore's Ranch. I showed you the Imperial seismograph as well. Let's go over here to El Centro, where Juanito lives. Look at this. Look at all these 3.0 earthquakes here. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 3.0 earthquakes. 16 3.0 earthquakes. And then I want you to look closer. When you see these earthquakes here, do you see a wavy line coming off one of these 3.0 going over the other? Guess what? Magma, guys. Magma is flowing underneath El Centro, going over to the Salton Butte volcano. So some of these 3.0 earthquakes are caused by magma beneath the surface. We've talked about magma beneath the surface before. It's happening here. You can see it. Okay? Let me show you some more. This time, let's go up to north shore of Salton Sea, on the northeast side of Salton Sea. This is a San Andreas Fault here. Look what we have here. Tremor City. Long duration tremor activity. Earthquake activity on the San Andreas Fault. Yes, it is small. But I'm about to take you down south on the east side of the Salton Sea and show you Bombay Beach. Bombay Beach is the other side. Bombay Beach is going to show you a lot more activity. Oh, darn. Just a second. For some reason, they didn't let me put up Bombay Beach here on my data here on my computer. I'll get it here really shortly. Won't take me very long. Hold on. Okay, I've got it. Look at this, guys. Bombay Beach. Look at this activity. 3.0, 3.5, and probably close to 4.0 earthquakes here at Bombay Beach. It's happening all over here on the east side of the Salton Sea. Okay? The San Andreas Fault is moving. It's moving in a big way. We see the 3.5, even 4.0 earthquakes happening here. I wish to high heavens that they would leave this seismogram alone. Why? Because they would truly be able to show us exactly what's going on, but they don't want to. 4.0 earthquakes here, very possible. Very, very possible. We've even had 5.0 earthquakes down here in the Imperial Valley before, even 5.5 earthquakes down here in the Imperial Valley before. It's happened. It's happened, guys. Now, back in 2010, I'm going to take this sidegram down. I'm going to bring up the USGS map again for just a minute. I want you to see what happened in 2010. I should say, I want to show you where it happened. Okay, you see the border here? Let me take down my webcam here so I can show you what's going on, so you'll see it. That long white line here is the U.S.-Mexican border. Okay? I'm going to enlarge this map to show it to you so you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. The long white line here is the U.S.-Mexican border. See Mexicali here? Now here further to the east of Mexicali. This is called oh gosh. I'm just about to tell you now, it just popped up my mind. We had a 7.1 earthquake down here, April 3rd, 2010. A 7.1 earthquake hit here in 2010. Just southeast of Mexicali. Okay? Just southeast of Mexicali here. Mexicali is the south part of the border here, and to the north we have Calexico. This 7.1 earthquake hit and rattled and destroyed both these towns. Literally destroyed both these towns. Mexicali suffered worse than the Calexico town did, but both of the towns had substantial damage. That earthquake here was a terrible earthquake. It's felt all the way out into Arizona, felt all the way over in San Diego County. I was in downtown San Diego when it happened. That earthquake was felt all the way up into northern Los Angeles as well. all the way up to northern Los Angeles as well. 7.1 earthquake. They're now saying it may have been closer to an 8.0. Guys, it was a big earthquake. I was in downtown San Diego right over here. Let me show you where I was at. I was right over here. The city of San Diego and the county of San Diego have a joint emergency operations center. I had just come out of the emergency operations center after the earthquake. I just barely went in and I came right back out. Happened early in the morning. I got into San Diego City and I flew into San Diego on Friday. I stayed over a friend of mine's house in the town of, not Imperial, but the town of Imperial Beach. And I came up I-5 and drove over here into downtown and parked my rental car here at the Emergency Operations Center and walked into the Emergency Operations Center. And I walked right back out after the earthquake hit. Big deal. Glass rained down from above in the skyscrapers. Plate glass windows from the skyscrapers in downtown San Diego fell out of the skyscrapers and fell down to the streets of San Diego and shattered into millions of pieces. Yeah. That was the damage after that earthquake. Glass windows all over San Diego County broke. Glass windows all over the Imperial Valley broke. Water main shattered. Gas main shattered. There were a few fires, not many, but there were a few fires. Nobody, fortunately, was killed. Nobody was killed at all. April 3rd was Easter morning. Fortunately, nobody was killed. There were several small injuries, minor injuries, but that's all. It could have been worse. But again, that earthquake is felt from where it was at the border of Mexicali and Calexico, felt all the way over in Arizona, all the way over here into downtown San Diego, and all the way up north into Los Angeles as well. Incredible. Guys, we are about to have another earthquake here in Southern California. And we believe that earthquake is going to be up here, either in the southeast part of Los Angeles County, or it may also still be over here in the Imperial Valley. Yes, it could still hit here in the Imperial Valley or in southeast Los Angeles. But it hits in southeast Los Angeles County, San Diego is also going to be getting hit really bad. Why am I talking about it? Because, guys, I want you all to be aware of it. I know we have EMA family members in Southern California. I also know that we all have friends and relatives here in Southern California that are going to be affected by this earthquake. And they also have friends and relatives all over Southern California. I'm asking you all to share this information that we talked about today, because it's going to happen. Just because it slowed down for a little bit this week doesn't mean it won't pick up, and it may very well likely happen that it picks up immediately. And then all heck is going to break loose. That means all heck could break loose here in Southern California. We all need to be ready. We must be ready. We must be ready. We need to get ready right now. That's my whole point, is showing you all this information today. We need to get ready, and we need to get ready immediately. We don't have much of a choice here. I'm telling you right now, we don't have much of a choice at all. Does anybody have any questions for me? Do you guys have any questions for me at all? No, Mary Endor of Knots, that long line is not the Trump wall. That is the natural barrier of the, actually, I should say it's a barrier. That is just the drawn in boundary line of the United States and Mexico. That's all that is. I don't think they have a satellite picture of the Trump wall yet. They might. I just haven't seen it. In fact, I will try to look at it. There are some satellite, the GOES satellite may have a picture of it. I'll go and check it tonight or tomorrow if I get a chance. Marianne Dewar of Knots says, does USGS ever report on earthquakes in Antarctica? Rarely, if ever. Now, about 5 years ago, there was a 9.0 earthquake in Antarctica, just east of Palmer, Alaska. Not Palmer. I can't remember down there. I can't remember the stations down there in Antarctica, but it was just east of the station in Antarctica. That earthquake was 9.0 earthquake. Now, USGS didn't report on it at all. EMA was the only people that reported on it. I was the only agency reporting on it at all. Then several weeks later, probably a month later, scientists down there ran a plane over the ice sheet. They found a 14-mile-long fissure opened up in the ice. They said that fissure was a result of the 9.0 earthquake that hit. So then it was then that they reported the earthquake. They denied it happened before that. I had people from USGS call me, say, Ron, you are so wrong. Why are you reporting this? Then weeks later, they find that fault, that great big huge fissure that opened up. Then they had to rebut and say, oh yeah, it did happen. This is just an example of them lying to the public. They lie, they lie, they lie. That's what they do best. Marianne Dewar-Knotts is asking a question. Do you think the 3I Atlas comet might cause earthquakes? Possibly. That comet will not hit the Earth. That comet is going to completely miss the Earth. Not going to even come close to it. Relatively, but not close to it. Okay? It'll come closer to Mars than it will the Earth. That comet is scooting, literally scooting, flying through the outer parts of our solar system. It's not going to hit the Earth. Yes, because of the gravitational pull. The gravitational pull that thing has, it may affect earthquakes. And that could happen later this year. Those earthquakes could happen later this year. Okay? Now, my dear friend Renee Sept is talking about a severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued. Salina, Kansas. This is a pretty darn strong storm, a PDS storm. Heavy rain, high gusts of winds, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and hail. Heavy rains in that thunderstorm and high winds and hail. Large hail in Salina, Kansas. happening right now. Those of you in Salina, Kansas, you need to take cover from the storm immediately. Go to your storm shelters. You may also have a tornado that may spawn from the storm. Go to your storm shelters and stay there. If you aren't in a storm shelter, get there. Go into the center part of your home and stay away from glass windows, because glass windows could break from the hail. Okay? Go to the center part of your storm to be safe. Center part of your house to be safe. Center part of the storm, yeah, right. Go to the center part of your house and stay there. Okay? Salina, Kansas. My grandfather and my mother's mother, not mother's mother, my mother's sister lived in Salina, Kansas, and they're buried in the cemetery out there in Salina, Kansas. So you folks need to take shelter immediately. Okay? Any other questions? Thank you for that, Mary Ann Dornas. We appreciate that a lot. Any other questions here? Okay, if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to proceed to our devotional here. This devotional I got from a friend of mine. Okay? I'm going to the New Testament here in Acts, the 2nd chapter, 17th verse. In the 2nd chapter, 17th verse, it says, "And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams." Verse 18, "And on my servants and all my handmaidens I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. And I will shew wonders in heaven above, and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon turned into blood, before that great and notable day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved." Now note this next verse. "Ye men of Israel, hear these words. Jesus of Nazareth, a man approved of God among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which God did give him, did give by him in the midst of you, as ye yourselves also know. Him being delivered by the determined counsel and foreknowledge of God, ye have taken, and by wicked hands have crucified and slain him." Here in the books of Acts, it's talking about the last days, the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, the second coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. No man knows the day and the time. However, I'm telling you now, and I am warning everyone within the sound of my voice. You need to prepare, and you need to prepare immediately. You need to prepare, and you need to prepare immediately. The Lord's second coming is at hand. We are living in what they call the tribulation, the time of tribulation. I believe this is just the beginning of the tribulation, but I have it on great authority that Jesus Christ could come at any time. And each and every one of us need to be prepared for that day. It's about to happen. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I know this is true. The scriptures prophesied of the Savior's second coming. Isaiah the prophet in the Old Testament also prophesied of it coming. It's here. It's about to happen now. We keep seeing signs in the heavens. We keep seeing signs here on this earth. We need to take heed of what the scriptures are teaching us. Take heed of the apostles and prophets that have spoken. Take heed, brothers and sisters, it's about to happen. The great and dreadful day of the Lord. I'm just one of his servants. I'm nobody really special, except he may call me special. The Savior himself may call me special. But I'm just one of his servants putting out the warning voice right now. Prepare ye for the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Brothers and sisters, if you want to help support this program, again, you can do so going down to the bottom of the screen here where you see our scrolling PayPal and our scrolling address here. You see at the bottom of our screen what we're showing you here. Our PayPal address is here. You see our PayPal address here? 2 of them. I don't think our Venmo address is happening yet. I'm going to try to get it back. You also see our email address here. Okay? You can send us cards and letters here. And inside the card or letter, you can send us a donation as well. Tuck it into the card or letter. Okay? Our address here is 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. If you want to comment about what we're doing here on the program, you can also go to our email address, rltnspdema@gmail.com. We greatly appreciate hearing from you. You can comment how we're doing. You can give us your negative comments. I don't mind that at all because I want to improve this channel. You can also put up information that you'd like us to talk about. I will do that. I care about each one of you. I care about what you think and what you're doing. I want everybody to be prepared for what's happening. That is what I'm thinking about. That's all I think about every day. What you're doing and how we're doing it. I want everybody to be prepared when these major events happen. Earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, very bad, serious storms like Renee's talking about in Salina, Kansas, happening. We're soon going to see great, big, huge winter storms. Blizzards happen. Slick roads. Blizzards. You need to start preparing for that. As I said before, you may want to make sure you have your emergency kit ready. You want to make sure you have emergency food and water and a first aid kit. Have a first aid kit, guys. This is very, very important. I love you guys. I care about each and every one of you. Ask God to bless you. Ask God to bless you and be with you this day and always. May God be with you until we meet again. We will see you tomorrow evening, same time, same station, sometime just after 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We are probably going to come on the air tomorrow morning with a members-only meeting between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. So be here for that. Between 10 and 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, members-only meeting here. We'd appreciate seeing you all here. May God be with you. May God bless you. May God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night.